We will call this Brown County Commission meeting ordered on April 16th. Commissioner Sutton, would you read us the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
First item on the agenda, we have Chris Heeman, bids for weed and pest. Is Chris here?
Yep. There he is.
Oh,
Coming around the corner.
Morning.
Good morning.
you had a chance to review everything, Chris, from last week Tuesday, and
Yep.
came up with where you want to be with it?
Yep, I think so. Looks like our best bet would be to get the mosquito chemical, the PCP, from Adapco, and all of the chemical through Van Beest. The state bid just came in a little bit lower on some of the chemicals. Normally what we do is we order it through Van Beest, and they give us we just say we're ordering off the state bid. We still get it through Van Beest, they give us a state bid price on it. The only chemical that, I think we tried that last year, was the payload. There's an equivalent brand, Promenade, that they weren't even able to get hold of. Their distributor, their warehouse didn't have it, so that would be the only one that we probably wouldn't be able to get off the state bid. But that's just one case of that we use a year. So
What do you use that for?
that's for bare ground for like bridges, and I think we use that on the fences out of the landfill too.
Okay.
So it's like Roundup, but it lasts all year long.
So that's your recommendation?
So that'd be my recommendation.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Wee, second by Pfeiffer, to accept the weed and pest bid for Van Beest, off the state bid, and also for Adapco.
Yep, for the mosquito.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You may have.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Got just a couple minutes there before we go to 8:50.
Approve the joint city-county April 8th.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Pfeiffer, to approve the joint city council for April 8th,
I have more.
and the general meeting.
General
Okay.
meeting, the county equalization, and the consolidated.
I'd move all of them.
Okay.
Second. All of them.
Moved by Kipley, second by Pfeiffer, to approve the joint city council meeting for April 8th, minutes for April 9th for county equalization, and all the boards that we had. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Pfeiffer, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
I'll move it. Second.
Moved by Pfeiffer, second by Weiss, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Rescind the American Legion lottery permit application. When they applied, they thought the horse racing was going to continue, so.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley, to rescind the lottery permit for the American Legion.
American Legion,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
yeah. Sheriff's report for March.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Sutton, to approve the sheriff's report for March. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Authorize auditor to sign the American, Ramcota, and the B-Pro election contract.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pfeiffer, second by Weiss, to approve the election contracts with the facilities American Inn, Ramcota, and
B-Pro.
what is it?
B-Pro, that's Polish.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Doreen Frolic, please.
I think that was in the, was it in
It was in the packet.
I don't think that was a lease.
Not a lease?
I think that was
Liquor license, wasn't it? It was the lease for the
a different. Yeah, I'd move it.
second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Sutton to approve the lease. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A-Town Roller Girls alcohol beverage permit.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Packard, second by Sutton to authorize the alcohol beverage permit for the...
A-Town Roller Girls.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Tom used to always enthusiastically move that one.
You tell him. Good luck.
So what building do they do in the,
Expo.
in the Expo, okay.
You don't know.
Never been there, heard a lot about it.
Where have you been hiding?
Yeah.
Man, you need to get out.
Auditor's report of accounts.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Fleicher to approve the auditor's report of accounts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's it.
Next item on the agenda, we have the racetrack discussion. Is there anybody here for speak of that? I guess I talked to Wolf, Troy, and Scott, and their question is if they can move their dates up for being the horse races are no longer in. They would like to begin in May. They don't know how many races they could get. The question becomes, what do they get charged for additional races? And I guess that's up for discussion. I think there was various things we could do. Do you take their schedule and divide it by how many races, and that's what it comes out to if they have 2 races in May, or do we put an addendum on the contract that they can start in May? I mean, there's various things that can be done.
I think that would be the fairest way to do it, whatever they've agreed on for a price, reimbursement to the county, divide that by the number of races they held, add that on, if they have 2 or 3 races, have the addendum address that's whatever number of races they hold in May, that's what they get charged per race.
And what if it's just an event and not a race? They're still using it,
Still
so using the
utilizing,
same thing?
I
Right.
would treat it the same.
One of the things is that they would probably want to have a night where they could have everybody could tune and run on the track.
I think they're already advertising that. It's in the
Well,
paper.
yeah,
They come up somewhere.
That was part of the deal, is that if they got the races to go early, which I don't see a problem. I mean, if that's
No.
what the lease is going to be, they might as well have use of the track.
Yep.
I think we just have the state's attorney draft an addendum allowing them to use it in May and have the reimbursement be whatever the per event charge or rate is that we currently get.
Is that something we just want to do on this contract? Because their contract's up for renewal again. What is the date on this, 23rd, 2016? Good for 3 years, so in September it's up again for the whole renewal thing. So do we just put the addendum on for till September of 19 and then renegotiate in September?
I think we have to because we have
Okay.
to advertise again.
Well, I don't think the horse race people have necessarily given up either. I mean, it's probably unlikely, but I don't think they've just sort of, thrown in the towel, so to say. I mean, they're still out there working.
Right.
And when we redo the contract, we can maybe include it in there, so at least it's an option for May, and that way they either can or can't, depending on what the horse races do.
The dates are available.
Right.
Well, what happens if there's objection? I mean, if someone would come in and want those, are we actually okay just by dividing
I'd have to look at the contract. I'm not sure how it reads right now.
I guess that'd be my only concern but I mean, you'd think that if there's gonna be somebody questioning or objecting or wanting those dates, that they'd be here, because if it's on the agenda, so you'd certainly think that it wouldn't be a problem dividing the overall contract by the number of races, and that's what they would be asked to pay. I don't know.
Well, the difficult thing is not having anything in plans. By not having the horse races, the county gave up about $6,000 that we would have anticipated revenue that would have been rented for that time. So we have to kind of have an advance and know where we sit, because if we have people that just break contracts, well, the county's out of the dollars for that. So I don't think it's fair to the county not to have something in writing that states that this is what's going to happen. So I think you've got to have something like that, or if you don't, we could have people dropping contracts and we'd have nobody to fill them in.
Well, either way, we need an addendum, because it's not allowed under the current contract. for them to race, have an
Chris,
event.
is that something you could possibly do, is put an addendum on to add May to the racing contract for this year?
I think we should do it. We'd have to discuss more details with Bullet Sports. I think the best way to do it is let me look at the contract, put it on the agenda for next week, invite Bullet Sports here so we can find out how many different race days they want, and we can have that discussion. I need to look at this. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 pages. I don't want to give you a legal opinion without reading it. It may say that we can't add an addendum. I don't know. I'd have to go through it.
Okay.
I know we've added addendums in the past when they had a special event. I think they had a monster truck show or something that we had to add it in the last few years.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine it would be a problem.
So why don't we just table that and put it on the agenda for next Tuesday and have Chris review it?
Okay.
And I don't know if I need to call the new endorse. That's kind of their plan. I don't know that there was anything else that would change, but I can give them a shout and see if there's anything else they requested, but that was pretty much.
And if they want to call in, I would think we can do it telephonically too, where they can just let us know what their plan is.
Okay, that's what we shall do on that one.
For informational purposes, they do have events scheduled for May 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 31st that they're promoting. So they've got 4 dates that they're actively putting together.
Good.
The other option, if we don't go by event, is to go by event time frame. Because if it's like summer, June 1st through September 1st or whatever that is, $15,321 is what their annual is. So it'd be about $5,107 per month. We could just say take the whole thing in May, do what you want with it for that additional.
So I appreciate their picking up the fact that since horse racing is not there, they're willing to utilize the facility.
Running with it.
But just so we know where they're at with it, and it takes time, and it's a big commitment to slide those in, especially this late in the schedule, so.
They have had to move their race date in May to Saturday because it conflicts with Miller on Friday night. So normally their race night is a Friday night, but for May they would have to go on a Saturday night because they don't want to conflict with another racetrack that's been established.
These dates they're advertising are all Friday nights.
Oh, in May?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's changed from when I talked to them.
Okay. Well, that's what's on social media. 3, 10, 17, and 31. Those are all
That's
Fridays.
never wrong.
Well, we'll work out those details and we'll discuss it next Tuesday, I guess.
But no, I appreciate their willingness to pick that up and put something out there. So.
Okay. That's all the agenda items I have.
I didn't make a motion to go into exec for personnel.
Before we do that, I think Mr. Robinson wanted just a couple of minutes if that would work.
Open discussion.
Thank you for the time. I kind of thought there might be discussion on the airport pump. I was in Arizona and wasn't really worried about it. Now that I'm home, I have some concerns. I was at the City Commission meeting last night. Primarily being an old first responder is the things that happen when that water comes south. You know, the ditches are level full, some 6, 8, 10 feet of water. Shoulders of the roads are soft. A school bus with 30 kids in it slides in the ditch and lays on its side. What's the fatality rate going to be on that? And I think it was 97 when it flooded. There were 5 families that couldn't get an ambulance in, couldn't get a fire truck in. Dr. Vick is my neighbor. His propane tank went dry and he couldn't get any propane. But those are some concerns that I have. I realize that the city is behind the 8 ball and they have some problems, but their problem shouldn't be the county's problem. You know, they have a city ordinance on sump pumps that says you can't pump on your neighbor's property. Well, what's the city doing to the county? You're pumping on your neighbor's. And I was with the group that helped put the agreement together. I really don't see any major problems with it. It started out with the city that they had a wildlife problem, and all of a sudden that went away because they were reminded that they had permission from the state and the federal government to mitigate the wildlife that was out there. and then it just became a water issue. And if changes are made in the agreement, I hope you make them carefully, and that's all I wanted. And as I understand, maybe there's a planning meeting coming up, a joint meeting. Is it going to be discussed then? And
No changes will be made without public input,
Right,
for
okay,
sure.
right.
It'll be well advertised.
thank you very much. That's
Thank
all I
you.
need.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Frank.
it.
Thank you, Freddie. Welcome home.
Thank you.
I had a motion from Kipley to go into exec for personnel.
Second.
Second by Sutton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec.
It's ugly for a day, though.
We are out of exec and no action as a result. Gary, do you have anything for us? No. Sarah, do you have anything else? Anything else come before the commission?
I just got a question. I'm not on the payroll anymore, but I know this meeting is open. Can I set in an equalization too? Is that
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Open to the public, absolutely.
That will be here.
Yep, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Yes, that I was informed, and I see it's on here. But I didn't want to barge in, but I've never been to a county equalization meeting.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Do we have a meeting, Thursday, State County, or was that last week?
No, it's next Thursday.
Next Thursday, okay.
Yep,
Are you
Lake
going?
Creek.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
One of the other things that probably is going back to, Judy would like to have some kind of a plan of what we're going to do with these moves. I mean, where are we setting with who's moving where, and now that the communication is moving over to the new building. One of the other questions we had, Judy and I talked last week, according to the city, if we move 24/7 over to the blue building, we don't have to do any construction. They're still going to mandate an ADA bathroom because we're turning it into the public. So that throws another little... So I guess, do we want Judy to get a bid on an ADA bathroom and putting a door on the outside over that office, that small office, and the glass in there, and doing that for now? That would be the minimum we could do to make it work. I mean,
What if you don't have a bathroom? I mean, a lot of stores don't have a bathroom. How do they get around that?
I don't know. There's...
I mean, they're only there for, what, 5 minutes? Go, blow, leave?
What if they don't go inside and it's like a drive-through window?
Right on. We could
I don't know what
really
I guess
cool
we
like
need
that.
to discuss that. That seems to be our issue. We
Make it a
can...
lot easier to bolt if they are in their car.
Well, I mean, a walk-up like
Need a radio.
So couldn't we just put a porta potty out beside the building?
I don't know what the guidelines are. I don't know. I thought if you didn't do any construction, I thought your premises could stay the same, but
Yeah.
I guess, do we have to have somebody look into, I mean,
I guess
city
yeah.
ordinances, I mean, our city guidelines, I don't know.
Who in the city told you that?
Chad,
Yeah.
I believe Chad from the city was over with Judy.
It's probably more than a matter of just city ordinance. It's a matter of the
Federal,
ADA.
yeah.
ADA qualifications are, so it's, a guy could dispute what the city's saying, but it's what the
Federal guidelines.
federal guidelines.
But the other side of that is
ADA.
that used to be the command center, you had 30, 40 people in there and they had the same bathroom. I mean, I guess I don't follow, it was a public type building before and we had public in there and it seemed like the bathroom worked. And all of a sudden we want to just move one new entity over to it that doesn't even spend 2 minutes there. Now we got to have ADA.
I think
We
it's
probably
the
weren't in
difference
compliance.
between daily visitors and occasional meetings.
We probably weren't in compliance.
I can ask Judy about it.
Yeah, well, let's clarify that. If we gotta bite the bullet, let's get it done, because it's the right place under the circumstances for us to put that.
I don't know that it is the right place. It's just such a crappy old building that I put good money after bad.
No, but where else?
That's
are you
what I
putting
feel
now?
about it too.
Where else are you gonna put it for now?
What do you do? Spend the money and
It's gotta go somewhere if you're moving it out of the mill building.
Yeah.
Keep the mill building, I guess that's the other option.
I don't know.
Well, we probably got to start giving Judy more guidance as far as what's happening, or we'll be sitting here down the road and we still won't have made a decision. So I think once, communication is out. I think everybody else is pretty much ready to move downstairs.
Mhm.
I think the other thing is I think there's still some confusion between planning and zoning and shared secretary and welfare. I don't know if that whole thing has been ironed out yet either. I think we probably need to put that plan into place and say this is the way it's going to be or what we're going to do, because I don't think we've actually discussed how it's going to be set up yet. So,
Put it on the agenda. Force us to make a decision.
If they get support personnel and they're both gone for a period of time, that happens.
why don't we put it on
I
the
know this
agenda?
one.
And if we see if we can.
So I agree, we don't spend any more than necessary, but whatever we have to do, let's get it done.
So get a quote for an ADA compliant bathroom, put in a window, so that they
Go on.
Personnel want staff to be safe and
Yep.
secure.
And then
do the
we'd
bare
have to put an
minimum.
outside door in where that office is, on the east side of that office, from the outside, because you can't put a door in entering a garage. We had talked about going through that garage. You can't enter a door, you can't have a door entering a garage. They gotta have a way out, so we'd have to put an outside door on the southeast corner of that room.
Yep.
Coming in, but then the employees would be secured. If something went array inside, they'd have access to get out. They'd be secured behind the window, so we'd have secured our employees. We have not kept them from running, but my understanding is there isn't anybody in the state of South Dakota that has their 24/7 program secured. We would be the first one.
At least try it for now and see if, down the road, maybe we can add on to the west end of that building and do it right, down the road.
So I'll deal with Judy and have her see if she can't get us some kind of a quote on those three things and start there, and then we can discuss it next Tuesday.
Perfect.
Good. Anything else come before the commission?
Thank you. Move to adjourn. Second.
Motion by Sutton, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.